We all have a story to tell. What can you learn from other people's life experiences, both winning and learning? See, in sports, you win and you lose when the scoreboard hits 0. But in life, the clock is always ticking. So you might as well learn. Winning and learning, never losing. There's a recipe for success, and there's a recipe for repeating.
That's right. So that's what, when people hear adversity, whoever's listening, remember that it has a reason. Accept it. Don't let it stop you. You don't see advertisements for failure. You don't see advertisements for death. You don't see advertisements for bad credit. They advertise you for the good, right? So advertise yourself as the good, because it can go any way it wants to go.
Yeah. Whew. We'll be able to contribute. I want to talk about the process of life. I want to talk about life experiences. I want to talk about trusting the process. So I just want to do my part and give back to the community, give back to the youth, and hopefully it touches somebody's lives and motivates them. And that's really what it's all about. What's up, guys? Coach here, the real estate coach here. Welcome back to the show, episode 3. We're excited. We have a guest today, the Open Playbook of Life. I have Coach Serda, my assistant coach over here. Coach Bailey, my assistant, aka life coach over here, my trainer. And then today we're excited to bring Mr. Bear Clothing himself, Cory Steemer. Yeah. How you doing, my man?
I'm blessed, bro. I'm so blessed.
So blessed.
Yes.
I see you with the full gear and the Rick Ross beard. No pun intended, but I guess we'll get to that here in a little bit. Yeah. So just real quickly, we want to welcome everybody to, again, the 3rd episode of our officially having our first guest today. We want to thank Alternative Solar. Oh, I was like, because I was in my row here. We want to thank Alternative Solar for allowing us to use the facility and being one of our main sponsors here. We also have Elliot behind the camera with
Where Grinding Never Stops.
That's right. Check him out on Facebook, on Instagram. If you need any kind of video work, producing, my young man right there is killing it. So we'll kind of jump right into this. How's everybody doing right now?
Doing good, doing good.
Good.
Easter Sunday. You know.
It is Easter Sunday as we film this. It is Easter Sunday. So for those that celebrate, he has risen. That's a whole nother story in itself right there, coming back.
True adversity.
That's adversity. That's adversity. You know, I think sometimes we forget the things that we go through in life are not really, they're nowhere near as tough as what he went through. So, Cory, man, again, I appreciate you coming to the show, man, getting up early this morning. You beat all of us here.
Grind early, baby.
Hey, grind early. Okay, that's right. So, Cory, just a quick question, man, just to kind of get things started. What is Bear Clothing, and how did you come up with, the whole, the name and just the whole thought process of diving into the apparel game like that?
I'll piggyback on the name Bear Clothing. Bears, as a kid, that was my comfort zone. I used to be a bad kid growing up, crying. I was always scary. My mom gave me a bear, and the bear became my comfort zone to go to sleep, to wake up, everything. So they nicknamed me the Teddy Bear. As a kid, that's why I was growing up as a kid, that became my comfort zone, Bear. To go on why I started at Bear Clothing, what it means and represents, it's a clothing brand that empowers all people to live their purpose. Purpose can be split in so many ways. And why I did that is because of my own personal adversity. I was, say, 2014, I was at my worst. About 490, 5'10", pounds. I was depressed, the ringer. I wanted to commit suicide. My suicide was going to Whataburger getting extra fries. If a guy who's obese constantly feeds themselves food is killing himself daily.
Slowly, so to speak.
Compared to a person who's going through mental health is killing himself with pills. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And I went through it, man, and I prayed. I'm a big believer in faith. God, that's how I move every day. God. And I said, this can't be it. You wake me up every single day. This can't be it. I prayed about it. I said, you know what, let me just go to the gym. Let me exercise. Let me just try something. I gotta try something different because this can't be it. So I'm going to the gym. I started falling in love with it. I started falling in love with it. I started falling in love with the healthy habits. I started feeling more better about myself, etc. So that little time frame was getting me out of my dark place, which everybody in this world experiences a dark place. As big as this world is, they feel like they're alone. That's why it's a dark place. So my dark place, my door started opening was when I was going to the gym, when I started to eat right, all of that. And I decided, you know what, this is working. This is amazing. I can't believe I'm doing this, and I'm staying consistent at it. And I went to the doctor, got my blood work done, etc. 0 high blood pressure, 0 diabetes, everything was negative, everything. So I think all this stuff I've been doing, I'm being African American, don't have anything like this. So you know what, let me do something. Let me do something that's going to motivate somebody else, those people that are in this dark place that doesn't have the strength of their own to get out. There was no outlet for Cory to go to get help because this world that we live in is so like brutal. It hit you and you're afraid of that. And I was afraid of that. So I stayed to myself. I took everything in, and that's where it hurts those people who are stuck in this dark place. So God blessed me enough, let me create a clothing brand that empowers people that this dark place is because of a purpose, that you do not belong here. And I wanted to motivate people with clothing, through a clothing brand. And I decided to do that, and what I did, let me start a clothing. There's a ton of clothing brands, and there's a ton. So I actually literally did this. I got deck of cards, put them on the table. All these deck of cards are clothing brand, Adidas, Nike, Jordan, everything. And I wanted to build a yellow card. If I threw a whole bunch of cards to you and they're all brands and they're all black, which card are you going to pick up? The one that you see that's yellow. You're going to pick up the yellow card.
The one that stands out the most.
Right. So I had to build a purpose behind this yellow card. So my purpose with Bear Clothing was to empower people to live their purpose through life, to let them know to wear their worth. That when you see this logo, you see the logo, it has a scar. The scar is what we're scarred through when we're in our dark place.
Absolutely.
You see the grind, the teeth are yellow. That's us embracing our struggle and becoming stronger than it. The crown is when we wear our worth and we overcome all of these struggles. And we live by that every single day. And that's what I push. I wanted to push something for people all over the world to be comfortable. Get out of their comfort zone. Because again, I go back, we get up every morning 10 toes down. Why? Nobody. People forget why they're here. And we all pray every day, oh God, thank you for waking me up to see this day. But as soon as we get up, damn, man, I can't believe I'm here. Why am I here?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, it's important to know your why. I mean, you said a lot of good stuff in there that I had to start taking little notes that we need to kind of start dissecting. But you say we walk with 10 toes down, and then, I mean, people, if you don't know your why, it's easy to complain and go through life, right? Like, it's easy to do that. And that's why, I have the thing, the gift plus your purpose is your gift plus your why is your purpose. So we all have a gift, and that gift may have been created through the dark place that we've all at some point experienced somehow, some way. We all have had our own dark moments, right? And then when you find that why you put your 10 toes down, why you are waking up, and why you're thanking God for waking up every morning, then, you can go find your purpose, right? And that's why we have you. This is why we did this show, is because life experiences. I don't even know if I've known you a long time, and some of that stuff that you just said, like I wasn't aware of at all. Right. So that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're having guests, not just us, because there's somebody that needs to hear this story that you're telling, and it's a beautiful story. Like, I've seen the logo, but the way you just broke that down, Man, that's good stuff. So do y'all have anything y'all want to piggyback off that?
Well, the one thing that I kind of clung to that you were talking about was the bear as a child was your comfort zone. Yes. And now you created this brand to where you are helping people break out of their comfort zone. I think that's a huge development and evolution in one's life where you start, we talked about this last week in the last episode, everybody has to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of can you grow forward and expand beyond that. And I think, like Marc was talking about, with the whole representation of the logo itself, breaking it down, it's like when you look at the American flag, everything means something, mm-hmm. and that's man, I could, I don't even know what the word is, but man, big props, man.
That was powerful.
So much pride in that.
And I appreciate that. But this is the thing that I wanted to build was a brand that everybody says, well, where's Cory? Where's Cory? It's not about me.
Right.
About me. It has nothing to do with me. It has stuff to do with people. Mm-hmm. People. I love people. I always talk to people. Mm-hmm. But God blessed me with the opportunity to create something that will help His people. Mm-hmm. You're speaking on today being Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. I watched the Passion of Christ with my kid. I mean, God's purpose was to die for our sin. Mm-hmm. It wasn't to die for black people's sins, white, Hispanic, rich, poor.
Preaching now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why is it that us in society divide each other? And I wanted to build something that helps every single person. And I started a clothing brand with people all across the world going on this page and saying where their worth. I mean, I created a movement, but this movement is for people. And people are starting to realize that, and they're starting to cling on to it. Like this man right here just started to, he had nothing about bear clothing. Mm-hmm. But you feel it because it represents you. Mm-hmm. When you go buy, I'm not trying to when you go buy Nike, when you go buy Reebok, when you go buy Adidas, and you wear it, you spend all this money on it, and you put it on, what does it represent?
You represent Nike.
Does it represent you?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's it's a brand,
right, it's a brand. But so the thing is, if you put on something that represents you, mm-hmm. you're gonna wear it proudly, mm-hmm. and you're gonna consistently wear it. And when you wear it, you're gonna stand out because mm-hmm. you've been through what you've been through, and you're coming out. And there's a platform on Instagram to see all people overcome it. Like mm-hmm. those are the things that a person where I was that needed more than just self. To get out is an outlet, like a door to be opened, like mm-hmm. cracking. Like bear clothing is that crack.
Yeah, it's a crack.
You try to come out of it a little bit, it's a ton of people here that's been there with you that just gonna keep you going.
Once you get to the other side, you realize more people are there with you, like scar-wise. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone, if everyone can tell their story and we can put it out there, more people, you'll see more people like yourself. Right. That have gone through very similar situations that you have, when you thought when you were younger you were alone, and you thought your only comfort zone was the bear. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what I think people don't realize. Like, and this is why we have to tell people's story, because there is, even if it's just one other person, they have the same story and they're going through the same life experiences as you, and that's why it's called the Open Playbook of Life, and we want to show people open experiences. Yeah. I think it's very interesting because I've been a big guy my whole life, right? I've been 413 pounds also. I think it's interesting because as someone that's dealt with weight for a long time also, that you chose clothing, because I know for me as a bigger person, like that's always the thing that makes me uncomfortable. That's a whole deep thing in itself. Like you chose to say, look, whatever size you are, whatever, what part of the process you're in, whether you're just starting or you're all the way to, where Serda is and, bodybuilding, you can wear this brand and be comfortable in it because it is you. And I think that's beautiful, man. I think that's real beautiful.
We get that point of, you go to the store to go buy something, you see something for $15. You walk over on the other side, big and tall, it's about $20, $30. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Mm-hmm. That's a divide. Yeah. That's already such a divide. And it also makes us depressed, the people who are overweight. Like, damn, we get the hit.
We gotta go. We gotta go our own section.
Right.
Like it's.
And then when you get your own section, you put that own section on, that outfit on, and you're still uncomfortable because you don't like yourself, the appearance of it. So it's you get hit twice.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're just trying to mask, you know.
Yeah.
I know when I was bigger, I was like, he even gets onto me. It's like, I'll put on a shirt and I'm like, it's too small. He's like, nah, that fits the way it's supposed to fit. And I'm like, for me, like, it's like, you know, it's like always like tugging. And people do this every day, right? Like, they're tugging, they're like, you know, because they're uncomfortable with themselves.
Yeah.
I know I used to buy bigger sizes. Even if I was a 3X, I'd buy a 4X because I was like, well, I like this shirt and I'm probably going to gain more weight. And so think of the mindset like that, and you can tap into this as a trainer, as a personal trainer, both of y'all. Like, how do y'all overcome, you know, something like that for people that do feel out of place? That it's crazy. We'll have the mindset of, I'll just buy a bigger shirt because I'm going to get bigger, versus I'll start taking my own purpose, health into my own hands, and by working out, eating better. What y'all think about that?
I mean, I think it's very true that people do hide behind certain things, whether it's clothing, whether it's food, but it does definitely take a mindset shift to the point where, you know, self-love first. At that point, you know, when you truly love yourself, no matter what stage you're in, you know, when you start loving yourself, to me, it's about then you respect your body, right? Respect your temple. So I don't really preach too much about you got to be fit, you got to be healthy. It's about loving your body, right? Honoring your body. We are given one, and so when you have that shift of, how many times did I tell you, like, you're worth it. You know, when we first started, Marc, you're worth it. Your body is worth it, right? Your temple deserves you to honor it. You
didn't make me feel worth it, bro. You were hurting me. I don't know what you're talking about.
As a society, we treat our cars, you know, we put better fuel in our cars than we do in ourselves. You know, and so something's wrong with that. We got one of these. So I think for me, it's more so just helping people realize that, you know, first we got to love ourselves, honor our body, and bottom line is that we're worth it, you know. And I'm going to real quick about Cory. Something that I like about his page is that Bare Clothing is that you see all kinds of people on there, you know. So
including Rick Ross.
Including Rick Ross.
Little Scrappy. Shout out,
It's the purpose, bro.
I'm
a big fan of Rick Ross. Beard, I listen to his music.
Can't give me all.
I surround myself with successful people. Why? Because that's the goal that I'm trying to get at. I can't surround myself with people who don't have the same goals in mind that I do. I'm trying to create something that's bigger than Nike, bigger than Jordan. All these big time brands are out there, but there's no brand that embraces people. So I already have this vision that one of these brands are going to pick up Bare Clothing. Why? Because it's for people, and that's something they need to grab onto instead of go against it, because they've already built their foundation. So that's the goal that I reach. Everybody has a goal to set, and I set myself and I live by that every single day, that I belong up here. Why? Because it's for people like yourself that's going through something to get there, and I'll push, I'll work, I'll grind for you. I mean, for me to get that, for me to wake up in the morning, I watch Rick Ross every morning. It's called Barefoot Chronicles. I don't know if you really pay attention to him. He talks about life and talks about everything, what he's doing. And for me to wake up and see my favorite artist wearing my shirt, bro, I mean, it hit me in some kind of way. I started shaking my butt, like, oh, I have to watch it over and over and over. But that's a sign from God letting me know you're doing your job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to keep on throwing these pictures at you a little bit to let you know you are on the right direction, because you're helping my people. So I'm going to continue to help his people. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here for the brags and boasts, because the only thing we all can guarantee as people is death. It's a guarantee.
And
but when that happens for me, I want God to say job well.
Absolutely.
So that's what I strive for. That's what I grind for. If I grind for anything else, I may be skipping over some of the things you may ask me.
No, you're good.
Anybody who's trying to start a clothing brand or start anything, it has to have a purpose. And it has to have a yellow card, because it's for a reason. If it does not have a purpose to motivate somebody else, you're selfish.
Yeah.
And that's why we do this. And I know you say you try to stay out of, like, your face out of it.
Right.
But, I mean, telling your story is something, I think you do that through your clothing. But this is why it is important. Like, we can say it all over again, right? Like, you have to have a purpose. And so, and I think that's our purpose with this show is, like, we want to do the same thing. And that's why you were like, man, I'm ready whenever you want me.
When I read what you were doing, I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Anything that motivates other people to get out of this spot, include Bear Clothing in that. I'm on it.
And last episode, we talked about motivation and how motivation is temporary, right? But we also, I think we made a good point that every day somebody else needs new motivation.
Right.
So the person that we motivated yesterday, we may have lit that fire for them, or your Bear Clothing might have lit that fire for them. But it's a new day, new grace, new mercy. And I mean, I have that tattoo, grace and mercy, right here, because every day we get that new, but there's somebody that needs it. Yes. And so, you know, videotaping this and being able to put it out there, it's not for, we're doing this for free, or, you know, it's kind of, you know, I have a budget, right? But there's no ROI on this for me. There's no return on investment financially, because this is purely something that with some success, like Bear Clothing, right? And people, you know, think I'm successful in real estate now, right? I feel like, okay, now what can I do? What's our next thing to give back? Like, I'm always trying to give back, and that's why these two people are here for free. That's why you're here for free, because we ultimately want to make a difference in people's lives.
Yes.
So I do want to ask you a question, and maybe Bailey, when do you think you talked about self-love, and she talked about it must start with self-love. How does one begin, do you think, to ultimately have that in the social media world, you know, where everyone's living their best life type of thing? How does one start to have self-love for themselves?
Really, it comes down to, and I was listening to little Eric Thomas this morning, is you've got to strip everything else away. You won't be able to truly see who you are, because whenever you go through a process, right? So the point of the process is you start from point A to get to point B, right? So to speak, right? But who you become in that process, that should be your foundation. But at the same time, when this process is, you know, going through its whole cycle, you more than likely you're becoming more successful because you are picking up good habits and, you know, meeting the right people, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, you're also picking up some adverse effects or, I guess, consequences of that. If you even want to say that, you're becoming more successful, you have more influence, probably getting more money, your status is higher. Then you've already completed your process, but now you have all this other stuff. So then you really have to strip those things away and say, who am I without all this now?
Right.
Once again. So you're back at the process is so important to make that foundation of the person that you truly want to be and represent. If you had nothing else, whether you were poor or you were rich, what have you been molded into throughout your process? And if you can't go back to that foundation, then you've done it all wrong.
Yeah.
Man, that's good. I think the process is shaped by life experiences, right? Like something in your life happened that created a habit within you, or a insecurity within us at some point. And that's why the process is so important, because the things like we talked about, the first one is the recipe for dedication, sacrifice. If you can put those sprinkles in whatever your process is, like Bailey said, being rich, being poor, it's going to define who you are. And then you said some other thing, like you're going to grow. Like the process is never ending, like you said. Like there's always going to be, so you can get to a new status. Bear Clothing has gotten to, you know, a certain status. Well, now you're like, what's next? Okay, so what's the new process that I have to get to keep this going? And like you mentioned, you know, hopefully one day it gets picked up by somebody bigger. So you're always having to grow and continue to evolve. And with that, man, you're going to lose some people.
That is true. That is true. You lose a lot to gain a lot. I mean, when I started this and I told people about it, they start putting their 2 cents in. But again, when we get these imaginations, God puts these imaginations in our head for a purpose. I mean, He didn't put Bear Clothing in your head. He didn't put it in yours. He put it in mine because He knows that's something that I can fulfill and something that I'm passionate about. He put that in me. So He put me through my obstacles in life to help others. So he put, I want you to start something through clothing. I want you to motivate people through clothing. You already got your Bang energy drink. You already got your pre-workout. You already got taking pills that give you energy. I want to give energy through clothing. You'd be surprised at the DMs that I get that, oh man, I didn't feel like doing this today. I didn't want to go do this, but I put my shirt on, blah, blah, blah. And I love that, man. And again, I built this. There's no identity but you guys. You guys are my identity. When she posts for me, she's Bear Clothing's identity because she's been there. When you post, your Bear Clothing identity because you've been there. So that spreads throughout the world. So Bear Clothing's identity is us. We're here. This is our platform. It ain't the CEO of Bear Clothing's platform. It ain't him riding around in cars, showing off money, showing all this. I could have been all over the place with that Rick Ross thing. I posted it because it motivated me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it motivated other people. That person that knows me, you met me and like, wow, this guy is in this shirt. I wore this shirt. And every post that I post, it starts off with a powerful message, feeds in to get the clothes. Powerful message, feeds in to get the clothes. I don't feed in to get this clothes message.
Right.
Yeah. I feed into the message so that you can feel it. I mean, and it may not every post or whatever you do in life, it ain't gonna happen like this. I mean, every post that I did wasn't guaranteeing someone purchasing anything. Wasn't guaranteeing someone to follow me. It wasn't guaranteeing anything like that. But it had to be within me to continue to push every single day the same way with the failure, no matter what. So I could go a whole day. I'm sure you noticed already, I have a trend of posting people, male, female, athlete, regular person. I have a variety of them.
Online athletes still? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Online, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
No. You're wearing your work.
There you go. I like that.
So I have to do that, and I may not get a whole bunch of likes. I may not get, but people are watching. People are seeing it. They say, okay, how long is this going to go? How long is this going to last? What is he doing? And when they start catching on and they start seeing it, the Rick Ross thing probably put a big stamp that this is something for real. And when I put the Rick
validity, right?
Right. And when I put the Rick Ross, it was amazing the message that he delivered when he was wearing the shirt because it represented what my brand. Out of all the clothes you could have put on, anything you could have worn, anything you could have said, you wore this, and you were talking about a clothing brand. You're talking about people overcoming their struggles, people living. He's giving that door. The way it went was unbelievable, man. But again, I fall back. That's all God's work.
Yeah, but I think, oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask something. So you mentioned that you get these picks, so I call things like that nuggets, right? So I feel like I'm giving nuggets, right?
Like
and I'm
that.
like questioning, am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Or I'm in this kind of like mental block or just not feeling it. And then I feel like I'm giving a nugget, you know what I mean? So for like when you mentioned that a picture of Rick Ross, that was for me when you said that I thought of a nugget, right? Somebody gave you a nugget, like okay, that like okay, yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and
You're not talking about like a chicken nugget because you're a trainer, so like.
I'm just talking about a nugget.
It's like a protein shake. It's like a protein shake.
So do you feel that have you noticed that you're given these little nuggets when you need them, when you're like maybe things aren't going the way you anticipated them going, or a setback, or you're just not feeling it? Because that's usually when I get my nuggets, like okay, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, this is a sign.
No, absolutely.
So is that something that you've experienced kind of in your walk, in your journey?
Yeah, I experienced that a lot. But my nugget is not just the Rick Ross. It's just when people post.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, for example, I use you when you posted for me. That's like, man, and what you said, and what you were wearing, to be stronger than your excuses. And when you posted that, it was the light, and you stood out because you became stronger than your excuses. Where you were, we made a lot of excuses. But when you start coming out and you're showing it proudly, that was my nugget.
Yeah.
Regular people are when they post and they see, and I see them walking around, or I'll get a DM. I didn't want to do this, blah. That I am doing something right.
Yeah.
That I'm doing something that when people sit up there and tell me, I didn't want to go out and do this, I didn't feel like doing this, but I put on a shirt to do this. You're doing something that exactly that I envisioned. You are being motivated by some material, but this material is so powerful.
Yeah.
And that's my nugget, and that's what keeps me going every single day. Anybody that's trying to start something, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
And
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Hi, I'm Alex, the head system monitor for Alternative Solar. And today we're happy to announce Solar Skins, a new option for solar enthusiasts that just don't like the way that black panels look on a roof, or if your HOA is giving you a hard time. Solar Skins are a graphic overlay that transforms your panel's visual appearance while also protecting them with a design that represents whatever you want. Whether you want your panels to look like your roof, a solid color, text, or an image, the skins are fully customizable to whatever you'd like. They come with a 10-year warranty and are compatible with any panel manufacturer. If you want to save money, energy, and look good doing it, contact Alternative Solar to learn more and see if a skin is right for you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show, the Open Playbook of Life. Man, Cory, you just been spending some good stuff, man, and I can just feel the passion. Like it's beautiful, man. You were talking about, and she talked about nuggets, and you get those. Like I think we get those. My nugget last week was when he posted the video of the little montage and stuff, working out, with coaching and stuff. And the feedback of people so excited for this show because there is obviously people out there needing to be motivated. So to get back to your question, the thing about the purposes and the nuggets, you were going to talk about adversity and it's going to hit. And I think people always see the Rick Ross post and maybe kind of ignore through the everyday people. And I think that's a beautiful thing for you to say that the everyday people is actually what strive you more than the Rick Ross thing. Right. So if you can talk about, adversity, seeing adversity, or people don't see behind the scenes some of the adversity that you may have dealt with. Talk about some of the things that Bear Clothing has fought in it as adversity wise.
Support from people because they don't know. Again, I mean, and that yellow card. There's so many clothing brands out there. And what I chose was something real big that's already going on, right? So I had the challenge within myself to do something that I really, really believe in. And this adversity to me, I don't consider it adversity. I consider it as a purpose to keep me going stronger, to keep me pushing. I mean, no matter if people are going to buy clothes from me, again, no matter if someone's going to like, I've been through that. I mean, I'll get through, I'm a real visual person. So, I mean, I'll post something, I'll go to another brand and I'll look, they'll post something, man, they get 1,000, 2,000 likes. Oh man, I want to buy this, I can't wait till this drop. Nothing about what, it's just clothes. It's just, it is moving. But again, so it challenges myself to continue to push that this brand is for the people every day. So give me a challenge, I'll execute. There's nobody that I feel is going to outwork me, outthink me. Why? Because of the purpose of what it represents. Again, I'll grind for you. So whatever hits me hard, I'll take it because I'll push it 20 times harder out. So that Rick Ross, what that did, if you think, outside looking in, what it did, it opened up a lot of people's eyes, right? So Rick Ross opened the eyes for, if you wore a shirt and you sent me a picture in it, they're gonna see that because this guy had Rick Ross on his page. So what that does, it goes back, and I'll say a motivational quote, and they'll see that, like, oh damn, okay, so continue to do that. Oh, wow, really? So that's what negativity, struggle, not being able to, you're not going to be successful like this, bro. It's impossible. You're not going to make money like this. It's impossible. I mean, I haven't even paid myself. Everything that I make, I put back to push out more for you guys, to push out a different brand, to be able to get the champion and stuff that people like with the logo on there. So I got a champion fanny pack with Bear clothing on it, and you're not even worried about the champion. You're worried about the purpose of Bear clothing on there, right? And you're right. So I'm putting back, and I love it. So it's growing each day, and I feel like this could be one of the biggest things worldwide because it represents people worldwide. I got people wearing my stuff in New Zealand. I got people wearing my stuff in Australia. I linked up with somebody wearing my stuff in India. I'm in the works of sponsoring an athlete who's in Jamaica.
Wow.
The world is all over, and this world is full of people that feel like they have no purpose or they feel like they have no worth. So I want to push out that vibe that you do have a purpose. I mean, everybody ain't gonna want to sell clothes. It's not easy. It's not.
But it's not everybody's job to sell clothes. Like you have to find your purpose, like you said.
But if you're not finding a purpose that is motivating someone else, the youth or whoever, you're selfish. You're selfish. And God does not like selfish. I mean, the doors that He has opened up for me throughout this path has just been unbelievable. It's been 2 years that I've been doing Bear clothing. The first year was I ordered me a shirt, like a little shirt here and there to try to sell it. I would get it like in bulk, and I would drive around all of San Antonio with the stuff in the back of my truck. I get everybody in my truck selling. And then it became a point of I was trying to sell the shirt instead of the purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sell the shirt instead of the purpose because I spent so much money on all these items that I need to get rid of them quick. So I was just going in and trying to sell them and forgetting about what it represents. So I wasn't getting anything in return. Then I was like, you know what? God opened this door for me to reach out to a company that can do that for me. That can do that for me at a high level, and on my end, I can market it. I can market Bear clothing and market what it represents and not have to worry about
printing the shirt,
stuff. Because if I worry about the other stuff, it ain't gonna allow me to get to the stuff.
Man, that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very good.
So now that opened up the door. I wanted this to be a worldwide thing. So God gave me the opportunity to make it a worldwide thing. You can buy something in Australia, you can buy something in New York, and I ain't even gotta go touch it.
Right.
Only thing I gotta touch is what it represents.
Right.
That's my job. My job is I want to get to a point where I can do this all day long, and my purpose is getting shot out all over the world, all day long, all over. That's the grind. So that's when people hit adversity, whoever's listening, remember that it has a reason. Accept it. Don't let it stop you. You don't see advertisements for failure. You don't see advertisements for death. You don't see advertisements for bad credit. They advertise you for the good, right? So advertise yourself as the good, because it can go any way it wants to go.
Yeah.
So I do have a question for you, Cory. I mean, you hitting the mark on the purpose.
Okay.
For anybody who maybe wants to start a business or young entrepreneurs, obviously you made it very clear you got to start with a purpose.
Right.
What other types of what other advice would you maybe give them when they're just starting this out? Maybe it's harder than what they thought. Maybe they want to give up. Not necessarily with clothes, just anything that they might be talented at or have a gift for.
Believe. It's simple, bro. Believe in what it is that you want to do. Because if you told me you wanted to create socks, a whole bunch of socks. If you believe it, do it. If God put it in your head to do whatever it is that you want to do it. And it's not nothing I can write down, nothing I can say. The only thing that I can say is believe in yourself. In anything that you want to do, believe. If you want to be a fitness trainer, that you can be the best fitness trainer to get somebody to reach their goal.
She's all right.
All right. But if you want to be a realtor, you want to believe that you can be the best realtor in the world to get people in their dream home.
Yeah.
So you set yourself up to help other people. And that's what it is. That's all. That's what I do. That's the blueprint. I can't go behind it. You got to believe in yourself, and people don't believe in themselves. You can ask somebody, "What is your purpose?" They have no idea. You can ask somebody, where do you see yourself going? They have no idea, right? So just believe, bro. To answer your question, I say it again. Just I push that to everybody who's just believe. That's it. That's it.
You got anything you want to add?
Man, I got like.
Go ahead. I feel you over here. The energy over here, like she like. I'm like, let me scoot over real quick.
Everything that you're mentioning. First of all, I'm gonna go back, taking it back just a little bit, because even I've supported the brand.
Yes.
I've always enjoyed it, but knowing the meaning of it now, like, man, like that was just. And I don't know if. I have a lot of friends that wear it. I have people on social media that I know, but I think, like, do they really know? I mean, I know they like.
Yeah, I think you need to put that out there a little more, because I didn't know that. There's
so much symbolism in just one picture that it hits a little bit different. You know what I mean? It hits a little bit different. So thank you for sharing that, because I think that's that kind of resonates.
I don't have the bear, but
And then something that you mentioned about adversity that came to mind when you were talking about that is that years ago I remember in church talking about gold, right? We're a brick of gold, right? And a lot of times gold is put through the fire. Why? Because all the impurities come to the surface, right? And so that's an opportunity to be scraped off, right? So then we constantly go through this adversity for fire, right? To get those impurities out. And that what kind of took me to that is when you said, when I was doing something, but it wasn't my purpose to be doing this. And so when you lose focus on what our purpose is, we don't see the results that we want to see, right? That's time to refocus, realign, kind of get our head and our spirit and our mind right. But those are some of the things that I took away from what you talked about.
Well, what you said, though, is important, because the purpose, I mean, we can talk about it all day, right? But it's easy to lose focus on something. It's easy to hate to go to a job, the 10 toes down thing. It's easy to get distracted when you're doing something that is not meant for you.
That's right.
Like, it's just so easy, and people, because we don't want to take that risk. At the end of risk is reward, right? Like, no risk it, no biscuit, no. No, that's a coach says that, not me. She didn't know that. She thought I made a fire little thing, right? I'm gonna make a shirt, no risky, no biscuit. But if you don't take those chances, and it comes from comfort zone. It comes from just accepting what your circumstance is. A lot of times, you talked about last week playing victim. Some people would rather just say it's everybody else's fault, it's the world's fault. Not to get too political, it's like it's the Republicans' fault, it's the Democrat fault, it's the white people's fault, it's the black people's fault. Like it's always, and that's what I love about ET. EBT is obviously African American. He's like, I don't play that card. Like, I'm a black man in America, and it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna be the motivational speaker in the world. I didn't have a daddy. That doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like if we can get past our circumstances and our shortcomings, so to speak, or the things, the adversity that we've been through, and learn through them. That's why I said this whole thing is about learning. On the scoreboard, you win or lose. Here, this is winning or learning, or more winning. So what would you say to someone that maybe doesn't feel like they have found their purpose? How do you encourage someone to try to figure out what their purpose is? Because you said there's a lot of people lost without a purpose. How can you encourage someone, or what would you direct them to find their purpose?
It's you got to find something that hits you. Life is full circle. Right? God will put you He'll take you around a full circle. Your purpose can be here. So we're gonna keep going. He's gonna take you around it, and it's a big circle. And you gotta find out what hits you home. When you find out that thing that hits you home is your purpose. That nobody, no matter what they tell you or how they try to drive you away, you stay connected to that. That's when you find your purpose. That's when you figure that out. I mean, no one sits around and says, "Oh, what am I going to do?" You pray about it. You let God guide you to it, and then it's up to us to identify that. A lot of us pray, but ignore the signs. A lot of us pray and we ignore the signs, and those signs could be losing a friend, could be losing a family member. Now, I'm not talking about death, but I'm just saying like distant, right? Distant you all the way from that negativity to find your purpose. So I encourage people to be careful what they pray for, because they don't know how they're going to accept it. So if you pray for something, you accept it and find it. Find it. When you find it, you stick to it. Don't change. I found that this with me with clothes and being able to push a brand out without my face. I mean, I have 16 athletes all over the world, and 16 of those athletes never asked who I was, what I look like, anything like that, because I've already painted that picture of what this represents. And if I painted this picture in HD quality, it's going
4K. 4K.
It's going to rock. And I believe that regular people are HD quality. So I put that out for you. So that's when you find your purpose, when it hits. Like when you get emotional about it, when you look at something like, damn. When you get emotional and you want to put that emotion, it's there. And when you hit it and you feel it, don't let up. Don't take your foot off the pedal. I got Rick Ross on my page. I ain't taking my foot off the pedal. I'm talking a trillion of regular people rocking. So I go back and it may hit us a little bit, but if you ever think when people commit suicide, have you ever seen someone commit suicide in public? It's always in a dark place. It's always alone. It's always by themselves. Why? Because they feel like they're by themselves. So if I feel like I'm by myself, well, why do I care about that? But they haven't found themselves to know that they have a purpose in life. They got kids. They got husband or wife or etc. They got people that look like when you was offering from school. That did that. And I used to see them in the gym a lot, and we'll never say anything. No one knows what somebody is going through, bro. Because why? Because this world is so cold and they're afraid to let it go.
To let it out.
They're afraid of getting in trouble when it comes to finances. They don't want to tell their wives this. They don't want to tell when they do something wrong because they're afraid. Because this is the perception that this world has put in. And it's hard to push out positive energy when we get so much negative. And I use that as, I can say, Kim Kardashian or somebody like that can get a shirt made and they're going to have a finger saying F you. It's going to go viral. Everybody in this world is going to buy it. Right? And
not me.
I'm just saying, that's how it is.
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
It's going to get 1 billion or trillion likes compared to someone posting something in a powerful message that represents that same person.
So let's talk about that. Why would a Kim Kardashian or the Kardashians, which I don't watch none of their shows, by the way, want to definitely put that out there. But I know who they are, right? Why do I know who they are? Because they've done something, right? Like these, especially the youth. Man, I remember when I was teaching, they had that Kylie Jenner lip challenge. Oh my God. My little girls in coming class with purple lips, fat lips. I'm like, what happened to you? We did the Kylie Jenner lip challenge with the lipstick thing. I'm like, for what?
The drinking the Clorox and something like that. Something like that.
Why do you think those people matter more versus positivity? Like, why do you think that?
Media. Media. TV
platforms.
Yeah. It's out there. And none of these people are those guys. Imagine if she did something positive and pushed it out.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Just imagine that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they get too caught up on the money or the fame, but that can only last for so long.
Yeah.
That can only last for so long.
I would say too, like, I find a lot of times when somebody, celebrity or whatever will do something positive, there's people that really truly see that as for what it is. And then but there's the whole other end of it. It seems like more people are skeptical of what they're doing. Like, what is their motivation behind that? And it's like, it's hard to even know what to grasp onto these days when it comes to that, because they've lived in this certain lifestyle, and a lot of the things they put out are very superficial, but then when they try to do something deeper or help other people, then people start questioning, like, oh, they're doing that for the cameras or whatever, the notoriety. And it's like, man, sometimes you're literally damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, because the problem with that is there's not enough nice people in the world. There's not enough positivity in the world. So when somebody does it, right, it's like,
question.
What are you doing?
Especially if their rise to success wasn't made through that. It was made through something completely different.
Right. I mean, I've done a lot of things for a lot of people that I've never posted, mentioned, brought up. Those people know it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not to say there's things that I've done where I have posted. Right? I'm not one of those people that's like, don't ever do that. You know, I think there's certain levels, you know, of stuff like when you take a picture with like a homeless guy or something, like, hey, you know, this, whatever, right? But I think when you do with a pure heart, all this stuff comes back. My real estate career right now is amazing, and I just started. I'm doing things that other people couldn't do in their first year, second year. Why? Because I tell people, I've been good to people for a long time. That's right. You know, like, they're like, how do you still have a sphere of influence that you're getting business from? I said, bro, I've been A1 to people for a long time, and it was out of pureness, and it's really out of insecurities in my own self. I was never, I mean, I might have been popular in high school, people know me Big Marc, but it's like, there's a whole lot of time from elementary school to high school to be insecure about yourself, to not feel, you know, a bigger guy like we are, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that are hidden in that people won't ever see. They see me holding up a key. Oh, Marc made some more money, close another house. That's what they're thinking. And I'm like, bro, I've been cool with people and nice to people forever, and I'm still living in my purpose, although differently now, from teaching the youth now, you know, helping grown people fulfill their dreams. It's because, like you said, it drives me. Like you said, you used to drive around selling shirts. You weren't selling your purpose. You were driving around selling a shirt. You know, we're not selling. I don't sell real estate. I sell a process and a gift, a dream for people that they have. And I can help you go. She can help me make my goal of getting better physically fitness. He's my life coach, so he's always on my butt about stuff, right? And I think for him, he talks about this, so it's not like I'm calling him out. He's not living in his purpose right now, and he knows that. And I think it's crazy because this is the smartest dude I've ever met in my life. Like, just knows something about everything. It's like, you tell him, it's like, how did you even know that? Right? But he struggles with his own purpose. He's trying to figure it out, but still I want him on this show because he, like, self-made, like, I'm like, that's you. If self-made is her, you know, certified fit. I'm the real estate coach, Bear Clothing. We got when grinding never stops. I always mess that up, Elliot. When grinding never stops. You know what I mean? Like, we all have a brand, but our brand is purpose driven first and foremost, and it is truly to give back to people. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, I got on a little soapbox on it.
I got a question for you about all that.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you said you always have been good to people, which I mean, I can definitely vouch for that.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that don't like me.
Well, I mean, you can be, you know, a little, no, I'm just kidding. My question though is, do you find that by giving back, so like when I was at my lowest or hurting, when I poured into others and gave back into others, my healing came through that. Do you feel like that was something that along your journey that's why you're such a people person, that's why you do for people, because it helped you heal, it helped you deal with your...
If you want to get like real deep, it comes from a lack of self-confidence. We'll go back to the weight thing. To where when I was younger, I was always the biggest guy. I was always the fattest guy. So it was like it led to a different, like, okay, there's people that want me as their friend because I'm the biggest dude, but then there's people making fun of me because I'm the biggest dude, right? So my thing was like, I mean, it's like the golden rule. Like, man, I'm not even doing nothing to you. What you over here talking about me for? So I give a lot of credit to my parents and my mother. My mother's a very giving person. So I saw that growing up, no matter what was going through, she was very giving. And I just felt like that was just a better way to approach things. That's a better way to make a friend, is to be genuinely nice and care about them versus making fun of them, right? And so that's, I think, when it started. And that's why if I go somewhere, everyone's like, man, if I go out with somebody, like, man, you always know somebody somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I don't know how that happened. Like it's an evolution, but again, it comes back to purpose. It's like all that led up to my success now. All that pain, all that hurt, all the lack of self-confidence, it all molded me to this day. And that doesn't mean we're still not fighting it, and I'm still not fighting certain things. We are. We all have demons. We are fighting things. But if we can really dial into the hurt to turn for purpose and pain into success, or pain into pushing you. My pastor, Bishop, used to say, you do two things when you're uncomfortable. You either revert back to your past or you excel to your future.
Right.
And that right there, man, that sits with me like all the time. So we can get uncomfortable and then we can just stay in our little comfort zone, or you can really push through that. And you said something I want you to just kind of talk about really quick is careful what you pray for. People will pray for growth. People will pray for new beginnings. But when God starts doing it and you got to leave your best friend behind because he or she is not good for you, they're not on the same level, so to speak, mentally where they want to go. People are like, nah, well, I hear you, God, but not my best friend. Well, speak on that, like, because you mentioned this, so just speak on that a little bit more.
About the friends part, or
just losing people in growth, or how be careful what you pray for type of thing.
Yeah. So again, I wanted to impact at a high level. I wanted to be somebody. I wanted to be a person. I wanted to be this. I wanted to be something that's going to motivate the world. I just prayed for it, and I felt like God took me through the ringer on purpose to mold me for that, to mold me to go through relationship type stuff, to go through betrayal from friends, to go through people not believing in me, to go through hurt, to go be at 500 something pounds, wanting to commit suicide, all these things. So God put me through all these ringers so that I can push out positive vibes. I can't push out something to you, and I ain't never been there.
You never felt.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So I can't push out a brand that has a purpose if I've never experienced any of it. So I'll piggyback again on why my face isn't on it. I'm actually living something that I needed. You know what I'm saying? I needed a bear clothing before, but my avenue was God to get me through that to help other people. I'd rather have 20, 30 people on the page saying that they live in their purpose compared to $20,000, $30,000 making from that. Why? Because people die rich every day. Right? But I'd rather die with the purpose that I've helped so many people. And that's my thing. Like you said, you're very smart, you're stuck in. My goal is to try to help you to get to where you need to be, because God put whatever it is, your gift is, He gave it to you. So you got to figure out how to use it. Don't run away from it. Don't run away from the hard things because of the purpose. Stick to it because it's molding you to let loose of exactly what it is that you have. Right? So that's where it comes in. I mean, I have friends that when I started this, ooh, man, that girl fine. Ooh, this dude is big. Hold on. Ooh, this dude is big.
I might have double tapped on a couple of those posts. I'm just saying. I'm single. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but we're friends. Right?
Yeah.
And then you've always been a person that I can say something to and you're going to give me positive. So when I told you what it was, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I've never got that response from you again. After you knew what it was and what I was doing. And they're like, oh, man, your wife going to deal with that? I said, my wife is going to be okay with it because this is something that I believe in. Right? No matter how many arguments I'm going to go through with my wife because of this, the purpose is so much bigger than that. So that's God right there challenging me with that.
It's a whole nother show right there.
Yeah,
right?
it is. But it's the truth, bro.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Challenging me with that. So I stuck to it. That's where it piggies back again on me sticking to what I believe in. My relationship, the friends talking, I stuck to it. So now that I'm sticking to it, God, like, this is what he's really going to do this. He's really going to do this. So let me, as God, help him through the way. Let me deal with his struggle. Let me deal with his adversity, because I believe that he's going to stay on this path for the people that I died for. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm about.
Man, that's good. Y'all got anything?
The only thing that I wanted to touch on was when we talk about purpose, I truly believe it's about timing.
Okay.
That's true.
I feel like a lot of people, when we talk about, you pray for the things that you want or the goals that you have to have the relentless pursuit of your goal, right? But I think a lot of people, they want the wrong thing right now, and they're afraid to wait for the right thing later down the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, you even said to yourself, you were I guess, you didn't necessarily want to just dive into the podcast or the show just yet because you felt like maybe you weren't ready.
Right.
You know but you praying for a purpose. You know you want to do this. You want to give back, but you within yourself were like, man, I just don't think this is the time. The time is not right. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to find the right balance between what is the best task to pursue at the right time. You can't just dive into the first opportunity, but you can't push off the thing that might be best for you in the long run either.
That's good. That's real good. Any closing things you got?
No, man, it's a good message for today.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I mean, I think we could go on for a long time, but it is Easter Sunday. So when y'all see this, it's Easter Sunday. This is episode 3, so you'll be 2 weeks from now. So man, I just the Bible says show appreciation. It's basically like giving credit or giving appreciation where it's due. And I appreciate you coming out here telling your story.
Yeah.
You fired me up today, man, like for real. And honestly, I was like I was nervous about doing this. And then I started thinking about what if they don't like the first 2 episodes? We were kind of getting started, right? And I think we're starting to get into a flow, having a guest. And like, honestly, I just started thinking like, who cares? Right. It's going to help somebody. Right.
I'm just going to say this. If they don't like the first 2 episodes, they're definitely
this one, you're going to get us people back after they hear this episode. Because the first 2, we were like, but this is truly, man, what I envisioned when I decided to do this. Because, and I talk about it, you can be, I just never thought I was ready to do something, be behind the camera. It's not me, right? Yeah. You can be a 5 and coach a 2. You can be a 10 and coach a 9. Yeah. You don't have to be perfect, right? And I think this was dope. This is truly what I envisioned, man. And so I'll just leave it to you before we close. Any last kind of words you want to say?
Yeah, it's Easter Sunday. It's Resurrection Sunday. For me to be here, I want people to realize what today was for. Mm-hmm. If you know that God struggled to live His purpose, if God struggled, if He got beat on that way to Calvary, accept your beating to fulfill your purpose. Because the biggest person in the world struggled worse than we did for us. So we need to give back to Him and live the life that He died for us for. Mm-hmm. So I ended with that. If you do that, success will continue to flow.
Man, your gift plus your why equals your purpose, man. That's what I'm going to keep going back to. I think that we want to thank, again, Alternative Solar, our main sponsor here, for allowing us to use the facilities. We want to thank Elliot behind the scenes, the camera. We're grinding. Where grinding never stops.
Where grinding never stops.
Check him out on IG. Make sure if you're not following Bear Clothing, give your IG handle for him.
IG is at Bear Clothing 1229. That's my biggest platform. Is Instagram. So I mean, if you want to get motivated and see all the people across the world, follow Bear Clothing on Instagram at Bear Clothing 1229.
All right. So follow him on Instagram at Bear Clothing 1229. Bailey.
Yeah, this was the best one yet.
For sure, hands down.
I appreciate the support, man. Definitely. I always say this, that everybody can touch your life in a certain way, and you definitely touched mine today, for sure. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Man, no. So Bailey, I was meant to well, that's good. I appreciate that, but I meant like your IG or your Facebook.
No IG. I stay low key.
Hey, he needs to get an IG. We might need an IG for the show.
The backstory is
we need an IG for the show.
Name, so like when I come up with a good name, then I'll put an IG out there.
I told him selfmade_24. That's your number.
Yeah, I mean
Bailey selfmade.
I'll check it out.
That's you selfmade.
Something like that.
You gotta watch podcasts.
This is Chris. This was my addition to that.
Yeah.
This is.
So I'm tagging him self-made. Like he needs to. That's in. Yeah. FSA. So your Twitter.
Oh, my Twitter. So, at Certified Fit. That's me.
That's
Thank you.
On IG. Yeah.
Cory, for that. That was great.
I'm realestatecoach.exp. If you're looking to buy or sell, he said they don't ever promote the bad stuff. They promote bad credit all the time. If you need help with your credit, I got you. All right. But man, much appreciation. We want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Playbook of Life. Chalk Talk is the actual name of it. Chalk Talk, the Playbook of Life. I'm going to get this right eventually. And where we just share life experiences, and we had such an impactful one today. And I'm so looking forward to sharing this with you guys. And we'll see y'all next time on episode 4.
Bye.